I'm going to go live on Instagram also. Let's do it. Hello, welcome everybody. Let's see. I want to please share the YouTube link here too. All right. So hello everyone. Welcome and thank you so much for being here. All right. Thank you so much for being here. It's my honor. It is Tuesday. What day is it? The 19th of July of 2022. We are live. We're talking about deportation defense. All right. And thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for those who are joining me on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, and on YouTube. Did I say YouTube already? YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. There we go. And so welcome, and thank you all so much. All right? Thank you all so much. So my theme for today is that, I've been deported, but my life is in danger. So can I re-enter the U.S. and apply for asylum? All right? Like, what do you do if you were deported before, but now you've suffered serious threats, violence, attacks? All right? And we have clients who have gone through this. I had a client, well, anyway. First, before I get into the story, let me just introduce this. All right? So welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. You know, the Deportation Defense Live is here to train, to teach, to inspire, and to empower immigrants who are facing deportation to make the most out of immigration law, to make the most out of their lives, and to win their cases. All right? Are you facing removal in immigration court, or do you know someone who's facing removal in immigration court? Because if so, you know it's not easy. It is an uphill battle. The laws are against us. And here at the Deportation Defense Live, we are here to maximize your chances of winning that case. I want you to win. All right? That's why I'm doing this. All right? In our office, we want you to win. And that's why we're doing this. And we work as a team here. And so everything we do is a team effort. And it's like, man, it's like we've got people who have dedicated their time, their effort, their lives to help people win in immigration court. All right? And I really, if you're going through immigration court, like, don't just hire some lawyer who, this is their first case. What? Dude, your life is worth something. All right? Fight for yourself. All right? Today our theme is, hey, I was already deported, but now my life is in danger. I'm afraid for my life. All right? Can I re-enter the U.S.? What happens if I re-enter the U.S.? What happens if I seek asylum? And normally I say thank you to everyone who asked their questions. Now, I was out of town last week, and so we didn't do all the stuff we normally do. I don't think I got any questions last week, which is completely fine. So if you are listening to me right now and if you have a question, hey, submit it. Submit it. I'll answer it live. That's what this is all about. Well, I'd love to answer any question you have. All right? And so perfect. So I'll jump right in, I want to jump right in with a story. All right? I've got a client. He's from Guatemala. He was deported as a young man, 19 years old. He was here in the U.S., got caught driving without a license. They pulled him over. They deported him back to Guatemala. But then he settled down. He got married. All right. He had a child in Guatemala. All right. And he's there and he's doing his thing. And then his father-in-law got a job working at the port. All right. And what he was doing is he was in charge of forklift and other things, offloading boats. All right. And he was told that he was offloading boxes of fish. Got it? But it wasn't fish in the boxes. It was not fish. It was something else in the boxes. And as soon as the father-in-law found out what was really being taken off of the boats, all right, he didn't want any part of it, and he decided to quit. Well, as soon as he found out and as soon as he decided to quit, people with guns showed up at their house. They beat my client's wife. They raped my client's wife. They shot and killed the father-in-law. And my client, who was there, they turned the gun, pointed it at him, and he just barely, the gun misfired. It like jammed. So by luck, my client didn't get killed. He got out of there. Later came back and reconnected with his wife, but was being followed. And he got out of Guatemala, just barely. All right, made it back into the U.S. His wife filed and won asylum. You following what I'm saying? His wife followed and won asylum. But what about him? The problem with him is that he had a deportation order already. His case was more complicated because he had been in the U.S. as a young man, was deported for driving without a license. All right? And so now his case has a new and higher degree of complication. He's not eligible for asylum. Got it? And so what do? Well, first of all, let me just tell you and welcome everybody. Hey, if you're joining me right now, welcome. My name's Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. And thank you so much for being here. All right? I always want to start with the basics. I want to explain the basics. All right? If you've been deported in the past, then you are, first of all, you're inadmissible. You're inadmissible for either 5, 10, or 20 years, depending on the circumstances that caused your deportation. So you can't get a visa, you can't get a green card, you can't legally re-enter the United States for 5, 10, or 20 years, depending on how and why they deported you. In the case of my client, he was inadmissible for 10 years. All right? But the second problem is that if you have a deportation order against you that's signed already, you're also subject to reinstatement of removal, which means that the government, the U.S. government, can deport you at any time if they catch you. If you're crossing the border again, if you're found in the U.S., right? No need, they won't give you an NTA, they won't give you the right to fight your case in court. They can just execute that already signed deportation order. Okay? So that's like the first thing you got to know. But, all right, it's also true that at the same time, it is the law that if your life is in danger, you have the right to request protection against that deportation. You have the right to request it and to go through a process. It's not asylum at that stage if you've already been deported. You might hear it referred to as asylum, but it's technically a different law. It's what we call withholding of removal. All right? So if I was deported and then afterward my life was in danger, how do I go through that process? What do I do, Otis? Here's what you do. Here's the way to do it. You ready? You prepare your application. All right, the I-589 is an application for asylum, but it's also an application for what we call withholding of removal. All right, and if you want to know, it's also a request for relief under the Convention Against Torture if you check those boxes. All right, so prepare it. Prepare your packet, your application packet. Have it be well prepared. Have it be professionally prepared. You don't want to do this work and then lose. You want to maximize your chances of success. prepare your packet. All right? Then, if you're already in the U.S., mail it off. If you're on your way to enter the U.S., have it with you and present it to the border. They are going to detain you. They are likely going to detain you. They're going to say, look, they've already got a deportation order against you. I know, I've got my deportation order, but here's my application for withholding of removal. My life is in danger if you deport me. Please don't deport me. Here's the proof, here's the evidence, here's my case. All right? So if you do that, yes, they'll likely detain you, but they should, if ICE does this right, or if Border Patrol does this right, they should give you a quote-unquote reasonable fear interview. Slightly different from a credible fear interview that we've talked about in other contexts. Not going to go in that today. When there's a deportation from the past, they call it a reasonable fear interview. If you pass that interview, then they're not going to NTA you, but they will allow you to have hearings in front of a judge. We call these hearings withholding only proceedings, all right? If you're in this and you're like, what are withholding only proceedings? That's what they are. You're not eligible for any other type of immigration relief, but you are eligible for withholding of removal. So what is that? What is it? All right? Basically, if you win withholding of removal, it's not asylum because you can't get a green card. You can't win citizenship in the future. You cannot petition for your family to join you. All right? But it is protection because you don't get deported. You can stay in the U.S. the rest of your life, and you can get a work permit with a social security number and all that stuff so you can stay in the U.S. All right? But why doesn't it have the same benefits? Why can't I bring my wife over? Why can't I bring, look, your spouse, whatever, they could come and they could file for asylum if they're eligible for it, but withholding of removal does not bring those other like family benefits that asylum cases bring. Why? Because of the deportation order from the past. All right? That deportation order from the past makes everything more complicated. And when things are more complicated, your need for professional help increases. Got it? If you want to win a withholding case, really my best advice is get a lawyer who has experience doing this. Get a lawyer who knows how to win these types of cases. In my firm, we would love to help you with that. If that makes sense for you, hey, we're just a phone call away. Got it? Got it. All right. So that's all I got. That's all I got. You know, as far as the client that I was telling you about, enter, got detained, fought his case, lost his case, appealed his case, won on appeal. We continue to fight. That's been his process. It's been taking years. Meanwhile, he's got another kid who's here. Now we're like looking for other options too. It's a process. It's a process. But these, you know, and he's not the only one. We've done other withholding cases. Sometimes we win right at the court stage. Sometimes, you know, a lot of it depends on the judge, right? And so anyway, there you have it. There you have it. All right, so Uscis Robello, I see your comment here. You say, can you explain the proceedings if USCIS finds the marriage was a fraud after the 10-year green card was issued? Will they revoke and deport? All right, thank you for asking that. Thank you for asking that. That's a great question. I actually love allegations of marriage fraud. I love fighting against them. I guess that's the better way to say it. I love fighting against allegations of marriage fraud because, look, the way the law is written, all right, for there to be marriage fraud, that marriage had to have been entered solely for the purpose of getting a green card, for the purpose of, quote unquote, evading immigration laws. And so where's your evidence, government? Like if you've already won your green card, which it sounds like you have, then you still are a lawful permanent resident until a judge says otherwise. So if the government sends you a notice to appear to fight about what they're alleging was marriage fraud, hey, let's fight that case. Let's say, dude, Your Honor, this is not fraud. This is not fraud. And here's why. Here's all the 300 reasons that you decided to get married. Maybe it wasn't the wisest marriage in the universe, right? Maybe things fell apart in the marriage. But on the day that we said I do, these were the 10 reasons we wanted to get married. And yeah, one of those reasons was immigration. But there were 9 other reasons, and here they are, judge. And then the judge can decide, right? And you can put witnesses on, and you can put evidence on, and you can do, anyway. So I hope that answers your question. Feel free to, text again if you have additional questions. I mean, you're saying, will they revoke and deport? I mean, they can try. What they do, if they really want to fight about it, is they send you a notice to appear. And on that notice, there are allegations. And one of those allegations might be that, at the time of your entry, you were really inadmissible because it was a sham or a fraudulent marriage. And that's an allegation. And when you go to court, if you have a lawyer that helps you with that, that lawyer will deny that allegation and deny deportability. And then the judge will be like, okay, government, where's your evidence? Where's your evidence that there was marriage fraud? And they'll try to put together some evidence. Oh, on such and such a date, somebody said it was a fraud, And you'll be like, dude, I object to that statement. Who said that? They don't know me. They don't know what I was thinking. They don't know what my wife was thinking or my husband was thinking. How can they say what my intention was? I object to that. I mean, that's where lawyering comes in, folks. That's where lawyering comes in. And so you can fight about that. All right. Eduardo Mendoza, hello, and thank you for your question. Also, you say, is it good? I don't understand exactly what you're asking about prima facie, all right? But I want to explain that term, all right? Prima facie, the word prima facie, this comes up in immigration law. It's a Latin term. It just means on its face, all right? And what immigration means by that is is your application on its face approvable? Are you establishing prima facie eligibility for asylum, for a green card, for a visa, whatever it is? Because if you are, then your chances are more likely to be eligible for a work permit during the process. Your chances are more likely, to be eligible for other benefits as the case is going forward. Got it? I see. Thank you for your follow-up question. I see it here. You say they had children with someone else during the I-751 process. Husband had 2 children with girlfriend. There was evidence. I mean, thank you for clarifying that. That evidence might be the government's arguments against the person, all right? But just because there was an extramarital affair, just because someone had children with someone else at the I-751 stage, does not mean that that on the date that you got married 2-3 years in the past, that it was solely for immigration purposes. It doesn't mean that. It might be some evidence of that, but it doesn't automatically mean that. It doesn't mean it's hopeless. There are still arguments that can be done. All right? And so if you want to talk that through in a greater detail, hey, let's do a consultation. That's what a consultation is really best served for. My consultations team is outstanding. We'd love to help you. All right? So just give us a call. Let's talk it through. And you're right, maybe the evidence is stacked against you. All right? Maybe it's not worth fighting. All right? But it never is. They never have that much evidence. It's never not worth fighting the fight. This is your life we're talking about. Like, let's fight this thing. That's my own opinion. That's my own philosophy. So there you go. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. That's all that we have time for today. If I haven't answered your question, and if you still have a question, hey, please send it over. All right, please send it over. I'd love to answer it. El Pollo Jalisco. Hello, I see you there on Instagram. Thank you. And SK Fashion. Hello on Instagram. And Lawyer Moldova. Hello on Instagram. Hello, everybody on Instagram. Love you. Hello, everybody on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook. Hello. Thank you. El Pollo Jalisco, you're saying U-Visa permits soon. Yeah, U-Visa work permits are starting to go out, and there's 150,000 people in the backlogs. And so it's like one case at a time. The government is going through its process, all right? But yeah, they are starting to issue the bona fide status determination work permits, and so that's a good thing, all right? And everybody with a U visa that's pending, it's a good thing. There's positive movement there. All right, hey, if this was all useful, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Please click that notification bell. We'll give you additional updates and news. And if you have an immigration case, hey, please give us a call. We are here to help, all right? Now, I'm going to do this exact same conversation in Spanish in just a few minutes. Si usted habla español, que venga en unos minutos y lo hacemos en español, all right? Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Tuesday or whatever day you're watching this, and we'll see you on a future episode of Deportation Defense Live. I'm Otis Landerholm, Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. Thank you so much.